When you see a guy drive past in a Lamborghini, do you feel envious or do you feel inspired?
You are obligated to do something with the capacity that you have, but to do the maximum leverage. And internet is the leverage that you have.
Yeah.
I think everyone should do that. Like if you're smart or doesn't matter, you know a lot about certain things, you should put it out. You should do certain things because that's your purpose.
If you pray for something that you want, believe that you have received it and it will be given to you.
Dave McGowan, the guy that makes 135k per day.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, brother.
I'm a videographer by craft,
Okay.
but now I run a video agency, so a bit different. I'm not too hands-on anymore.
Okay. How did that go? When did you start? Tell me the story.
Yeah, so it's been like a progression over like 12 years. I started off making YouTube videos when I was like 10, 11, 12. Then I got super into YouTube. I grew like a small following of like 7,000 people on like a gaming channel.
Okay.
In 2014. Had a bit of a cult following, got a bit crazy. And then I realized that I actually don't like being in front of the camera. I like the editing, I like the behind the scenes sort of aspect. So then I started making short films. When I was 16, I became a stoner, so I was like, I need to do music videos so that I can be high.
Well,
and
you
shoot
were
content.
like smoking weed all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was no money in music videos. COVID hit, and then I just did a full reset. Got a normal job in 2021.
Okay.
Had that for 2 years. Hated it.
How did you experience COVID?
What do you mean?
Like when it happened, what were you doing? You were in the job or no, you were in the
I was unemployed.
unemployed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was shooting music videos like 500 euro here, 1,000 euro there. When COVID hit, I actually liked it because it meant no responsibilities. I could just sit around all day doing nothing. So
Just chill.
yeah, but I knew it was bullshit. I didn't care about the mask. I didn't care about the hand sanitizer. The rules in Ireland were the worst. So
The vaccine.
the vaccine. I was forced to get that by my ex.
Okay. Crazy ex. Okay, bro. So 2021, your journey started. You went working.
Yeah, I think 2021 is when I like reset my life. I was like, okay, I'm done with all of the bullshit that I was doing before. I really need to focus on building a life for myself. I knew no one was going to save me. So I started, got a full-time job as a videographer. I was trying to save up money. I didn't have much. I was paying rent in Dublin, super high. And then about a year and a half into that, I was like, I can potentially make more as a freelancer if I replace my current salary. So that's kind of what I did. I started making some free product videos for people. I used that as leverage to sign my first client. I signed my first client in Underway Out West in, I think, April of 2022
Okay.
for 2.5K. I was watching a guy we know very well, Nick Metzger,
The Metzger guy,
the millionaire.
multi-millionaire.
Yeah. I was watching him on Instagram, and he said, just keep raising the price until someone says no. So the next client, I got on a call through LinkedIn DMs, and they said, how much does it cost? I said, 3.5K. And they were like, yeah, that's good. And then I slowly built it up. I got my retainers to around 5K per month, and I quit my job.
Okay, it's good that you first build up your money in your freelancer business to like the same amount of money that you earned in your job.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they just start without plan. Like for me, I just started, I didn't have money in the beginning. It was really hard times. Like you did it, I think it's better. Because then you have a kind of, okay, I know I can do it small, then you can make it big. So from there, then you earn 5K per month, you quit your job.
Yeah.
You did some coaching or what? How did you do it?
Yeah. In, I think, July of 2022, I was obviously applying Nick's free content from Instagram. And I really wanted to make 10K per month. I don't know what it was. That kind of got in my head. His offer was we help people to 10K a month with the guarantee. So I hopped on a sales call with his closer. Sounded good. I remember being like, I don't know if I want to do this. It was like 6.5K and then 8K if you pay over a certain period of time, over 6 months. So I said, okay, I can do the monthly payments. And I was so anxious. I was like, fuck, what have I done? Just paid this random guy on the internet the most money I've ever paid for anything up until that point. But it worked out well. At the start, I was super shy. I was Like I didn't really know how to go on sales calls. So from I think 6 months into that, I closed my first 25K month.
Okay, that's crazy, bro.
Yeah. And then I was just fluctuating between like 5 and 20K a month for like a good probably year.
Okay. Coming back to the 10K per month mark, you said you really wanted that.
Yeah.
How did it feel when you reached that?
It didn't feel like anything. Yeah. Because nothing changed.
Yeah.
I lived in the same apartment.
I guess that's with a lot of things, but especially the 10K mark, because it sounds like the 5 figures mark. It sounds so crazy when you could reach it and your lifestyle will change, but in the end, nothing changes, right?
Yeah.
It's just the same, and you just need more to sustain your business.
I think what was more exciting was leading up to the 10K a month.
Yeah.
I remember around November of 2022, I was texting my ex-girlfriend like, damn, if I close one more deal, I'm going to make 10K this month. And I was like, this is crazy. But then when you hit it, it's like, okay, you have fulfillment. You have to actually deliver what you sold. So it's not as exciting. But yeah, I've been doing the agency now for 2.5 years, almost 3 years.
Okay, bro. And what revenue are you currently at? So you closed 135K in one day, as we said, but what's your average revenue?
Average revenue like 20, 30K a month. Yeah.
That's good, bro.
So the 135K day was 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But 2 retainers that I closed over the space of 12 months.
Yeah.
And then our average deal size, we're doing like 15K one-shots.
Yeah, you have really good retainers. The value per client is really high in your agency. That's crazy.
We have some really bad retainers as well. So.
Yeah, it's always a balance, right?
Yeah.
So Dave, when I give you 50K to invest in your business, what would you do to make it grow?
Run ads.
Okay.
More ads, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Probably would just spend like 5K a month, break into the US market.
Yeah.
Maybe even 10K a month. There's nothing really else that I would invest in. I have a coach right now that I'm paying, but I already have him.
Who you're coached by currently?
Paul Kennedy.
Paul Kennedy.
Yeah,
okay.
So he's based in Belfast.
Okay.
Has an agency called Lifelike Media.
Yeah.
So I just DM'd him. He doesn't have a coaching offer. He doesn't really have a course. He's just doing it out of wanting to help people.
Yeah.
So he's working with some e-com brands and me then as a content agency.
I think that's the best when someone is in the field. They are actively running the business and you can get coached by them, and they don't have like a really coaching program, just one-on-one. You learn the most because they probably had the same problems a few years ago.
Yeah. That's what he said over DMs. Like I asked him about a different coach that he had a testimonial for, and he said, look, like to be honest, like I got from here to there, and then we just chatted for a bit and he said, I can coach you.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, it's a little bit expensive, but like you said, he's actually running a business. It's not a course. He makes his money from a content agency. He doesn't make his money from selling courses.
Yeah.
So I was like, this guy can help me.
Yeah.
And I'm a big believer in investing in myself to get to that next stage. I don't think you see the results for about 6 months, but when you do it, it's a big...
It's delayed, right?
Upside, yeah.
When you want to manifest something, it's delayed by 1 year or... What,
I think it's 2 years.
Yeah, 2 years. 2 years, yeah. So you just said you would scale your business with ad spend. If I gave you 50K, why you don't do it right now?
We don't have enough cash flow.
Okay.
Have to prioritize the cash flow. Invoices can be slow. People have different payment terms.
Yeah.
If I had more there, I would. I also want more proof of concept. Like I really need to find a winning creative. So that's kind of something, one of the main things when I get back to Ireland in 2 weeks is let's make some crazy ads.
Yeah.
Cowboy hat, some crazy shit.
Yeah, bro, the story of your brand, for the viewers who doesn't know it, maybe you can give a bit more explanation. Your company is called Way Out West.
Yeah.
And how is the name involved in your, like, how did you come up with the name?
Yeah, I mean, for me to start with, a brand is super important. And from the beginning, I always, even when I did music videos, I always thought, if someone else is going to pay me to help them with their brand, my brand needs to be good. Because if they see that my brand is shit, they'll be like, how can he help me? His brand is terrible. So that's the first thing. I like to have very consistent colors. It needs to feel like a big company, bigger than life almost, and like its own entity. The name Way Out West, I've had it since 2016. So I did a short film competition in 2016 when I was in school. and I had the name Where West Productions. It's still on
interesting.
YouTube. You can look it up.
It's interesting, bro, that it came from that far.
Yeah.
And I like the way you said it, that it has to have its own, the company has to have its own entity.
Yeah.
I like the way how you said it. Really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
It needs to be a personality.
Yeah.
You need to buy into it because the goal is that the company is it's a breeding life form.
Yeah, it's
That-
like a child that you made. Yeah.
Yeah, and you're growing it into something that's big.
Yeah.
So the foundation of the good name, the name is not as important, it's more the brand.
Yeah.
But the name Way Out West, as far as I remember, there's two factors. So I was from the west of Ireland. So, okay, Way Out West, when I made that YouTube channel, I was living in the west of Ireland, so it made sense. The second one was me and my granddad used to watch a lot of like cowboy movies.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, like the old westerns from like the 1950s.
American movies.
Yeah, my granddad loves movies. He's 93 years of age now.
Crazy.
And we watched, have you heard of Laurel and Heidi?
No.
They're like two, like a Dumb and Dumber type comedians.
Okay.
And they had one kind of episode or movie called Way Out West, and they were like, they went into a cowboy ranch, and it's just a funny comedy. So since I was, I'd say 6 or 7 years old, that was in my head, Way Out West. Weird.
That's crazy that it's still, that now you make it reality.
And it's awesome because when I see my granddad, he's seen the progression of me,
Okay.
and he's so proud. Like,
does he know that you run like a company that has the name and stuff?
yeah,
That's crazy.
and he knows that it's named after him, in a way.
Okay.
And that's really important to me.
He must be really proud of you.
Yeah, I show him like the Google reviews.
Really?
And
Crazy.
when I see him, he's like, "Have you made any new videos?"
Yeah.
And he likes to watch them.
Really? He has Instagram or?
No. But he has a tablet,
Okay.
so he can look it up
Yeah,
on his tablet.
that's nice.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I think that gives you more fulfillment than money in business when you see like that.
Yeah,
Like people, like your grandfather being really proud about the brand and what you're building, and is using his bit of legacy.
yeah.
That's crazy.
I think like sometimes when I look at my family history, especially on my dad's side, my dad is way smarter than me. My dad's parents, which is my granddad and my granny, they're really intelligent, but they grew up in a different time where they couldn't take like advantage of the opportunities that we have.
Yeah.
We have the internet; it's totally different.
Yeah.
So I think it's been like 100-year build-up of like this entrepreneur spirit.
About you.
Yeah, and then I've just come,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I need to do something about this.
Yeah.
And I think it's like that for every successful person that I meet. It's not as instant as it looks.
Yeah, it's a build-up process of your family, your guides, your values that you get with you. And to come back to the internet ages, like the last 20 years, it has changed so much. I think everyone can agree. But I feel like in this current world, you are obligated to do something with the capacity that you have, but to do the maximum leverage. And internet is the leverage that you have.
Yeah.
I think everyone should do that. Like if you're smart, or doesn't matter, you know a lot about certain things, you should put it out. You should do certain things because that's your purpose. When you don't do that, you will be unhappy, I feel.
Yeah.
What's your take around the internet and people wanting to build a business or wanting to do something to make impact?
Yeah, I mean, the internet has allowed us to be completely global. We would never be friends if the internet wasn't a thing. You would be in Belgium. You probably wouldn't even speak English that well because you wouldn't have played video games. You wouldn't have watched YouTube movies growing up. It would have been a lot
Think
less.
about that, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So the internet allows us to be more connected.
Yeah.
The problem is that the devices that we have make us disconnected because we're pulled into the devices. Social media, movies, Netflix, they're all designed to grab our attention and take attention away from us. And like, I'm a victim of this as well. Like, I get pulled into social media. I'm doom scrolling. You heard me last night, doom scrolling for like an hour. My brain had brain rot.
Yeah.
So I think the internet is a tool, and people are reacting very negatively to it. But you need to take advantage of the tools that we have.
Yeah.
Now with the internet, 50 years ago it was television, mainstream media. Before that it was the radio. Before that it was the newspaper. Before that it was just like government propaganda. There's always been something or some way of sharing your message.
Yeah.
The internet is the one that we currently have.
Yeah.
And I think, fuck it, like, no one cares.
Yeah.
No.
I feel like if you consume a lot, you should change that perspective and create more. Like I always try to create more than I consume on the internet, because that's what it's about, spreading your message. But for certain things like YouTube, you can learn a lot about certain kind of businesses. And to come back on the TV thing, it's tell a vision. Tell a vision. They tell you a vision, what you want to hear. Literally, they're brainwashing you. So it's bro, the propaganda and the media machine is working on all kind of levels. We can make use from it. We can grow our businesses, live the lifestyles that we want here. Like we are in Marbella right now.
Yeah.
Crazy view. We are living together. Like you said, we wouldn't have met. But I think it also has negative effects on the community or on the humanity.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people get lost in that kind of stuff, bro. So yeah.
I like to try and look at both sides of every situation. Before, if we look back 100 years ago, and we look at the New York subway, we take a picture now. Everyone's on their phone, scrolling on TikTok.
Yeah.
But 100 years ago, everyone had a newspaper.
Yeah,
So
true.
they were still trying to disconnect.
They were still trying to put their vision on you.
Yeah. So I think it just, I don't really see it as bad or good. I don't want to apply a meaning to something that has no meaning.
Yeah.
Like, it's addictive, but everything that brings you some sort of pleasure is addictive.
Yeah, that's true. But I think especially with children nowadays, it has more impact than we think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but that's another topic.
Yeah.
So, Dave, in 3 years, way out west, where do you see yourself? What revenue? Does your team look like? What brands are you working with? What countries are you in? Where are you living?
Yeah, good questions. I think if I want more revenue, I probably need to be in Ireland if we're going to go backwards on it. But the question is that what I'm after in life? More revenue?
Yeah.
Or am I after a life of freedom? I'm after a life of freedom. I think business is very progressive. Like, as you learn, your business will naturally grow if you don't give up. I would like to be making at least 5 million per year with the agency, 400K per month. I think it's pretty natural over 3 years. Just keep pushing on, add more retainers.
Just double it every year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah, 5 million per year with the agency, and then living in Ireland with that revenue. But I really want to live here in Marbella.
Yeah. Okay. What do you love the most about Marbella, the place here where we are? You said you would like to live here. What's one thing that is here and not in Ireland?
I think I'm meant to be here.
Okay.
I don't know why. As a kid, I always used to look up houses in LA. When I was 13 on a site called Willow, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And I would check like the price of the house, how many bedrooms, and it would look like this. Like a house.
Bro, now we are living it.
Yeah. So I always thought in my head, I need to live in LA because it has mountains and hills. I think that's cool. Houses in hills and beach view.
Yeah.
But that's just Marbella.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't want to live in the Matrix.
Subconsciously, you manifested it, but
Yeah.
you didn't know which place, but you knew which surroundings, how it was to be. Entrepreneurs, good community, nature, good vibes, sun. Okay.
That's what I knew it was this environment.
Yeah.
I just didn't know it was here.
Yeah. And now you realized that
It's here, yeah.
That's good, bro.
Yeah.
So for the viewers, if you would give one lesson to them that you learned the past 2.5 years that you grew your agency, what would it be? Like one good tip.
Good question. If you have a skill, the first thing is you need to have a skill.
Yeah.
So I was fortunate enough that I was making videos. I got quite good at that, which would make sense. I was doing it for 10 years. So I was good at videos. I had a skill that I knew I could sell. I knew I could leverage that skill. So if you don't have a skill, get the skill. It can be something that you enjoy doing. It can just be something that you're good at. It doesn't matter too much. Then find people to sell that skill to. I picked food and beverage companies. You can pick any
Like
niche.
they need to pick a very specific niche, or what would you recommend? In that?
I would just pick an audience that you're going to sell to. Like, you can't say, I'm going to sell to fitness coaches and then do real estate the next day.
Yeah.
To me, it doesn't make sense.
You have to stick to it.
Yeah,
to
because you become an expert, you'll understand that.
You learn the business, you learn what their pain points are, and you can really apply your knowledge to their needs.
Yeah, exactly. So pick a niche, That doesn't mean you're stuck with this niche forever. Pick it, become an expert in it. And then the number one thing that had dragged me forward is be obsessed with learning. Obsessed.
Okay.
And I don't mean be like a learning self-help junkie where you're just watching Iman Ghazi videos like jerking off. Like actually learn and apply the information.
I think the applying is the most important part because some people, they watch YouTube videos like 12 hours a day and they don't apply anything. So what are you with the knowledge?
Yeah. So just start selling something, and every time you get stuck, you will naturally find a piece of content, a book, a coach that can give you information so that you can keep moving in the same direction. Like when we started, we didn't need to know how Facebook ads worked or funnels. It wasn't where we were at that stage. But now we need to know because that gets us from the 20 to the 100 more consistently. So I think be obsessed with learning and applying information, and find a coach or find someone that's ahead of you. You don't need to buy a course. If you're going to buy a course that's $500, $1,000, $3,000, just don't even bother because that information's on YouTube. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think a lot of courses are just packified, like it's just systemified from YouTube.
Yeah.
The money is in the real value is in the one-on-one coaching.
Yeah. Find someone that you can ask questions to on a call. And then because you're applying information that you've learned on a regular basis, you're going to run into new problems, and then you have someone to ask. That's just how you can be pulled through. And just speed.
Speed is...
Do things faster. Like I wanted, at the start of 2024, I said, website's shit. I made it in Adobe Portfolio. I'd made over 100K with the shittest website ever. And then I said, okay, I'm going to make a website. 2 weeks later, website's out. Haven't thought about it since.
I think speed in business is essential because when you're starting out, you don't realize that. But you just have to fail faster. That's what it comes down to be honest.
And nothing needs to be perfect. It needs to be done. It needs to be out.
True.
Like there's nothing perfect in business. There's guys making 100 million a year and there's problems.
They have problems in their funnel, strange things that you see like, how, what the fuck?
But it still works.
True. So I think that's a key lesson. That's we can apply a lot of.
And I have the same problem where I'm like, now there's a few things that I need to implement. Emails, I need to do the new ads, I need to film new ads, and I'm thinking about it, but nothing's happening. We're just talking. So what I know when I'm in my office in Ireland, I'm like, ads are done, ads are filmed, ads are edited. It happens in 3 days.
Action steps.
It could take people 3 months to do it.
That's the thing, bro. If you can make more speed than other people, you are way ahead. And also if you do multiple things, multiple businesses, because that's where I think beginners struggle a lot with. They don't know their niche and they like, I now do, say, let's for example, restaurants. Maybe it's not enough money in there. Let me try next week fitness, and they do everything. But bro, there is one person in that niche who is crushing it because he's only doing that full time, and you are spreading your time to trading, e-com, starting a restaurant business, and so that's also a key thing, I think.
Focus.
Focus
On one thing. Like your brain can't multitask. And then focus on the highest leverage moving tasks. In an agency, that's the only business that I know how to run. It's just sales.
Sales and marketing.
Sales and marketing. But I think marketing is sales. It's just less direct. It's a bit slower.
Marketing is building up to the sales conversation.
Like you're not going to get any sale if you have no marketing. Like if you're on a call with someone, hey, do you have a website? We don't have a website, but we're really good, trust me. Do you have any example videos? No, just we're good though. Like you never sell anyone, you need the marketing content.
True. So earlier you said that they have to have a coach, the beginners, or they have to find someone like one-on-one.
They don't have to, but it's good.
It's good. It can help you way further if you pay for experience. Would you ever consider doing coaching yourself, or you haven't thought about that?
I've thought about it. We've spoke about this a lot. It's just, for me, I think I can help people. I can only help people get to the state that I'm at now. But I know what I did.
You know which problems you had and which things you need to tackle. The mindset is also really important.
And if they follow the same steps as me, and I'm currently still doing the same things that I'm teaching, and I know it works, then it makes complete sense. The only thing for me is coaching is At what stage does it take away from my core business?
Yeah.
So firstly, I need to have a full team in place so that the business operates without me. I'm heavily involved in fulfillment, delivery, sales, managing the team. I don't have any managers. So that needs to be sorted first. And then I can focus on helping other people.
It's good that you have these logic steps, because I think most people, they think the grass is greener on the other side. They start coaching too fast, and that's when their other business goes down. Then they have to go all in on coaching, but then there is also a plateau there because they don't have the knowledge to reach more than, let's say, 50K. And then, so it's an end-to-end equation, I think.
And it's the exact same thing. It's the same process. People, you post content, they go into your funnel, they go on a sales call, you close them, you deliver, there's fulfillment. So it's the exact same as an agency. It's just less fulfillment because it just calls. It's just knowledge, and you don't have to make them anything because it's not done for you. So I think it's simpler in terms of the fulfillment and delivery, and I think it gives you more time, location freedom than running an agency. So that's why everyone seems to make an agency and then sell info. It's just the natural next step. But what happens after you sell info?
Maybe there is like investor. Like investor/coaching, what we were talking about yesterday. You invest in companies, you coach them, you're like more like a board member, you guide them, like you need to do this action steps, guys, and then they also have your liquidity to scale faster. I think that might be the next step, to be honest. Because then you have experience with a lot of people building their company, coaching. If you can do that like with bigger companies as an investor, that's really strong in my opinion.
That's kind of the natural step.
True. Okay, bro. Next year, 2026, May, we are here again. Maybe not on this balcony with this view. Maybe in a crazier house.
I think it's going to be fucking crazy.
Maybe not.
Maybe in Cape Town.
Who knows? What will you be at in life? What would you do in next year in May? Like, how would your business do?
I think I'll be doing similar enough steps.
Okay.
I hope to have more team members. So that I'm less involved.
So you want to step away more from the day-to-day side of things.
So I can just focus on. I think I'm better if I can step back and focus on the big picture stuff.
Like you can think the strategies through. You can see how all the things, you can like have a bird eye view of the business. So that's kind of where I want to be. Definitely above 100K a month consistently. Traveling more. I want to be more confident. Meet more people like you. What places do you want to travel?
What places? Thailand, Bali, Asia in general, South America, Costa Rica is a big one for me. Mexico, Colombia.
Lots of places to visit.
Lots of places,
Good that we have whole our lives before us still.
We have a lot. 22,000 days left.
Yeah, bro, it's fucking crazy.
We need to do it.
22,000. For me, it's only 19,000. I have a timer on my phone. I will die soon, bro. I need to make it happen.
19,000 days, it's not a lot.
No, bro, every day one goes down. Every day you work, every day you go on a date, every day you party, one goes down. And it goes fast, bro. That's why I don't understand people in the Matrix. They working for, I don't know what. I don't understand it. Like they do their thing, it's good, but they need to think. They have to be conscious about life, and that it's not only about working and putting 8 hours per day in an environment that you don't want to be.
But it's by design. They've been brainwashed since they've been a kid.
Maybe they don't have the knowledge, a lot of people.
They don't even understand. They think what we're doing. I guarantee you, we ask the average person that we know from a childhood that has a regular job. They think we're scamming people, for sure. They're like, oh, maybe they scam people with Bitcoin. That doesn't make sense. Think about it. It doesn't make any sense to them.
Maybe.
They're put through the system, and unfortunately, the more stages you go through in the system, the more trapped you get.
You break the limits of your mind. And I think maybe because they see us mostly online, because we don't meet them in real life anymore, these people, they see us online and then they can't comprehend it, I think.
And what we're doing is not that crazy.
It
really isn't. There's a lot of people in jobs that are way smarter than us, way harder workers, way more confident. They have all the skills that they need, but they have the limiting belief that it's not possible.
or they just don't take the steps. They don't have the environment. They don't have the people around them that guide them or that can like say, yeah, you can do this or this. I think that's important.
And they don't want to get out of their comfort zone and go into, like, if you leave your job and go into working for yourself, there's a huge period, at least 2 years, where you're like, I don't know if this is going to work.
Yeah, true.
You have no idea if it's going to work.
Yeah.
But like, what's more risky? Like, if you leave your job, try that for 2 years, and you go back to a job, you've not lost anything.
Yeah.
Like,
you can just go back to the same
you can
job.
just go back.
That's true. You just lost some days.
Yeah. That's it.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Do you want to give one more message to the viewers today?
Let me think.
Like, I think the average viewer is 0 to 10K from my channel now.
Yeah.
So is there something that we can tell them, like for business, trading, e-com, some general tips that people can apply into their lives to change their mindsets, raise their limiting beliefs, and live the lives that they truly want?
Yeah. I would have a real think about what you want out of life. Like, just sit down and just visualize. Like, a really helpful one I do for people is, what does your dream day look like? And make it crazy. Don't just say, oh, my dream day is to get a coffee and then, go to the gym. It needs to be crazy. Like, 10x it.
Yeah.
And then just think about, like, what did that guy look like? Or what did that girl look like? What are they doing that I'm not doing?
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
then you can replace your thoughts with the guy, and then you can you can take action as a millionaire or as the guy in that scenario. You can have the mindset. You can adapt it. Like, you can ask a situation. Okay, would this guy be recording a podcast on a sunny balcony on a villa in Marbella? Probably yes.
Yeah.
But would this guy do LinkedIn outreach or do whatever, bro? Like clean the house? Would he do that? Probably not.
Yeah.
So that's a good way of thinking.
Yeah. And if you want something, you can't act like it's in the distance. Everything that I know that's going to happen in my life, it's already there.
Yeah.
I just haven't reached, the timeline hasn't caught up with the materialistic vision that I have.
You have a really good mindset about attracting stuff.
Yeah.
Because you're really careful with the words that you say. Like the future car or the dream car.
Yeah.
It's different. Dream car, a dream is unattainable.
Yeah.
Future it's there soon.
Yeah.
So
I would never, your words are the most powerful thing that we have. Everyone thinks that their internal thoughts are just inside their brain and that they're not projecting out energy. Like for me, I don't think I'm going to drive a Ferrari. I know exactly what the car looks like. I know exactly what my wife looks like. I know what the house looks like. I know what the garage looks like. I know what the kids look like. I know what it looks like. It's already there. It's fine.
It's written in the script from the universe.
Yeah, like Jesus said it the best. He said, if you pray for something that you want, believe that you have received it and it will be given to you.
Yeah.
You already have to feel like you have it.
Yeah, it's
because
crazy.
if you feel like you don't have it, you will never have it.
Yeah.
Because the fullness of
you will
life is
feel
right
the
now.
emptiness. Yeah, you already need to be full, and then you will attract it.
Exactly.
But it's crazy that a man 2,000 years ago, that he already made a script for every one of us.
It's so simple.
Yeah.
It's written in the scriptures. I haven't read the Bible, but I've heard interesting things from it. And I think, just stop acting like things are in the future, because the only thing that's real is this current present moment. The past does not exist. The future does not exist. It's a memory in our head. It's not real.
Yeah.
It's
a
not currently.
script. Yeah.
It's not happening right now. So then it doesn't exist. And all I think is that all of the timeline that we live in, from the moment we're born to the moment we die, it's already there. And it's up to us to decide how we pull ourselves through it.
Yeah.
So that's the main thing. Stop chasing, start attracting, and ask yourself, how can I become the person that attracts things and doesn't chase things?
It doesn't change. What would one big tip be for you that we can say to the viewers to have more the mindset of attracting and not chasing? Because when you're young, you're starting out, you want a lot of things, and that's a bit of a struggle sometimes.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the way you look at something that you want. When you see a guy drive past in Marbella, there's loads of supercars, right? They're everywhere. In Ireland, Belgium, other countries, it's less often. When you see a guy drive past in a Lamborghini, do you feel envious or do you feel inspired? That's the first step. If you feel envious, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's a negative energy. You're almost pushing that sort of
Yeah,
thing
you're
away.
like, oh, this guy, he probably this. A lot of people have negative comments on people with nice car. To be honest,
Yeah. But the people that are inspired by
Yeah.
it and go, wow, I wonder what that guy does.
yeah,
Where is that guy going that I'm not going?
yeah. True.
I'm inspired when I see that. And then the most important thing, the highest frequency that we can act on is gratitude. Right now, we're living a life that, to be honest, most people won't be able to experience.
Yeah,
I'm so grateful that we get to sit on a balcony on a Friday. I have a nice date later. We have a nice weekend planned.
Yeah.
Like, life is really good, and I'm super grateful for that.
yeah,
And just because I'm going to have a Ferrari in the future, a bigger house in the future, more money, I know I'm going to have that. Right now, it's very, very good.
yeah.
And you just take a second to appreciate it.
True, because
Yeah.
I think we get lost sometimes in the internet money. Like
Yeah.
you see people online with crazy cars, like we talked about this the beginning of the podcast.
Yeah.
Like you get lost in it, and then that's not what you want, because you have to be present in the moment to fully enjoy it, but trust the further steps ahead too.
Yeah. And if you see someone online, just know that that's a catered image.
Yeah.
You can be making €500 a year, and you can go to a nice restaurant
Yeah.
once and make your life
And we
look
can rent a Lambo here and say it's ours. We
Yeah.
can be on a balcony from a big villa
Yeah.
to do a podcast and say we live here for 1 month.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not true.
Everyone has problems. Everyone
True.
has problems.
True,
I think
true.
I have the exact same problems I had 5 years ago.
Yeah,
They're very similar.
yeah. They're just a different angle.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And I think like life, maybe the viewers see the view or not. It's crazy that it works, bro. Look at all the houses. Like people wake up in the morning, bro. They all have their own problems, but still everyone goes like on the streets with the car and they don't crash and they're all good to each other. It's a miracle, bro. That we are living. That the community here. It's that it works.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
It's an absolute miracle.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to be like this.
No.
We have societies of billions of people
Yeah.
operating in synergy.
Yeah.
And
that's
it all
crazy.
works.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have wars, sometimes we have fights, but most of us, we
Yeah.
have good intentions.
True.
Yeah.
It's crazy that we didn't kill already each
Yeah.
other.
We're
Like
just-
all the world, we're still
yeah.
alive.
We have morals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Okay, bro, that was a good
Sick, man.
good slot.
Enjoyed that.
Yeah, bro, I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. And next year we do another one, and Dave will be in a whole other situation.
So will you.
yeah, for sure, bro. We will, and then we will have different topics to discuss. Bro, thank you.
Sick, man. See you later,
See you
YouTube.
later.